Okay, let's look tonight at Unit 5, Intelligence. This is Part 2. Are there different forms of intelligence? And the person that is in the picture here at the bottom right-hand corner is Stephen Wiltshire. He is one of the very few savants in the world. He is one of about 100 people who have the amazing ability to do something way beyond average IQ, but yet in many other ways and functions is way below the typical IQ. And his ability is the amazing talent of being able to fly over a city and then sit and sketch it out on a piece of paper and draw it to scale and almost perfect looking. Or do what he's done here for the city of Houston, is stand down there at Buffalo Bayou, look up at the city, and then be able to recreate that back in his hotel room. Pretty outstanding, really. But yet he has trouble carrying on a conversation with people because his IQ in that way, in a verbal and linguistic sense, is not very strong. Theories on intelligence. Are there different kinds of intelligences, or is it really just one thing? Or are there several different things? So Charles Spearman, who's pictured there on the left, presented a two-factor theory of intelligence, separating general and then specific mental abilities. He called this factor analysis, which means this. He's identifying groups of associated ideas by combining like items. Like G is general mental ability. So it's one single trait or essential skill. The G factor, or general intelligence, is the ability of individuals to solve complex problems. The S factor is a specific mental ability, in what he called the ability of an individual to utilize math and verbal skills. So he saw, using FA, or factor analysis, that doing well in one area tended to predict that you would also do well in another area. This is one of the common things that people cite with IQ, that if you have a high IQ intelligence quotient, there's carryover into other areas of your life where you also show a higher level of intelligence. The TriArctic Theory of intelligence is Robert Sternberg's proposal here. He looked at one that went through a PAC, not performance or performing arts center, but practical, analytical, and creative. So the practical side is the ability to adapt to changes in the environment, and that was in our original definition of intelligence. There's the analytical side, which is the reasoning and problem solving that's evaluated on most intelligence tests. And then there's the creative end, which is the capacity to create new ideas and unique solutions to problems. Howard Gardner is somebody else who went through this process. I've had the pleasure of hearing him speak here in Houston. Very interesting gentleman, and he came up with this idea called multiple intelligences. It's a theory that states that intelligence isn't fixed. Intelligence is actually spread across 8 different types of multiple intelligence, from logic smart or logic mathematical, and nature smart or naturalistic, or interpersonal, which is self-smart, visual spatial, which is picture smart, musical, which is music smart, body kinesthetic, which is body smart, or interpersonal, which is people smart, and the last on the list is the verbal linguistic, or word smart. He felt like that people could be tested and they could see and show areas where they were stronger and weaker in these different spots. And this was a way for him to be able to determine what intelligence quotient was and get a better measure than just the one number or one test that we've been looking at. This is a good video clip again from Psychology 101 that will look at multiple intelligences. It is another great series of videos that they've done. This is Cognition, the 4th of 14 little video clips, and this one's only 5 minutes long to explain cognition. There's Stephen Wiltshire. His little cup there, I like that. His little quote, "Do the best you can and never stop." And that's sort of his advice to people. He's a pretty simplistic gentleman, but boy is he complicated in terms of being able to write, to draw, and to create the world that he sees on a single sheet of paper. Howard Gardner disagreed with Spearman's G and instead came up with the concept of multiple intelligences. Came up with the idea that studying savants is a window into this condition and into this situation. So a savant is a condition where a person has a limited mental ability but is exceptional in one area. And it's not just they're good at it, but they're amazing and unexplained, much like the gentleman here, the human camera, Stephen Wiltshire, is. We'll see some video clips on him in class, and there's a video embedded here in one of the other slides too that talks about savants. It's definitely something you should watch. So here are his different paintings or pictures he's drawn. The top picture is London, England, that he's drawn. The next picture down is Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. And the part that's Dubai is right here, okay? And what I did above it is put an actual picture here of London, and see how London has the Thames River that's flowing right here. It looks very similar to that. There's Madrid, Spain as well, the next to the bottom, and then New York City with the Empire State Building. And just notice how the Empire State Building is kind of like scale. You can see that there are buildings and places in the city. It's really pretty fascinating, and he's able to look and see all of this and recreate it from his mind alone. So what is cognitive disability? This is a situation where individuals are considered to be mildly mentally retarded or cognitively disabled or cognitively challenged, and are capable of reaching the level of about a 6th grade education, where one can sometimes and often live independently. The IQ range of an individual with mild mental retardation is from 50 to 70. And these days, the disability alliances that I have been happy to benefit from as someone who is mobily challenged and has some mobility challenges, and could have other disabilities waiting for me around the corner, knowing that there are laws protecting a person with some disability is a comforting thing. But in terms of school and ability to achieve on a school test and those types of things, what you need to be thinking about here is that the original purpose that Binet looked into is to help French students who maybe were struggling. That's still in play and in accordance with what an IQ test is really trying to do. Either give additional support to someone who's struggling, or provide enrichment or opportunities for higher learning for somebody who is well above the average. Here is another really good video. I recommend this one highly. Like I said, this is a short set of notes because I want you to watch this. This is the history of intelligence testing. It'll cover a lot of things we've mentioned, but it'll go deeper in some other areas as well. So that was pretty short today. Very quick look at, are there different forms of intelligence? I think it's safe to say that there are different forms. It's where we come up with an agreement about what those forms are that can be sometimes very difficult to do. So on this set of notes, I would definitely concentrate on people like Spearman, his G and S factor, and factor analysis in general. Sternberg's PAC, practical, analytical, and creative, and his TriArctic Theory of intelligence. And then Gardner takes it way above and beyond with those 2, 4, 6, 8 different types of intelligences. Stephen Wiltshire is a good example of this. The fact that Gardner used multiple intelligences and disagreed with Spearman's G. And we have this situation with savants. Some are sudden savants where they're injured and hurt. Others are like this at birth. So real interesting. Of course, we looked at cognitive disability. So even though these notes are pretty short, I can tell you already that there's at least 4 or maybe even 5 questions on the test that we'll be giving in class for Unit 4 that would be helped by viewing these. So hopefully that helped you some for the test. If you have any questions, always feel free to email me. Until next time, don't forget to be awesome.